All right, man. Can't sleep, so we cooking up, man. Shit gonna be a little bit different with this live too, cause shit, y'all can actually see what the fuck I got going on here and shit, man. Yeah, this is literally what it looked like before I'm about to go live. Let me go ahead and copy this shit. Put this on my story. Y'all know the drill, bro. Let me just do this shit right quick though. So honestly, I'm just trying to cook up. I'm really tired as fuck. Go put this shit in my bio. And then we gonna get to cooking. Remove this joint. Alright, throw this link up. Cool, alright, bet. Bet. Yo, bro, you went to SCHS? Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, no, I was class of 2022, bro. So. Let me go ahead and click off this shit, bro. Anyways. You know, I was class of 22, bro. Let me post this shit on my story. We gonna be straight. Damn, bro, I'm ready to hear that damn Until Japan album. Alright. Finna get the cooking now. Let me check my chat right quick. Your music tough, gang. You got advice? I want to be an artist someday too. Alright. So, before I start this stream, for real, before I start cooking, I'm gonna give you some advice about being an artist. I'm signed and shit, I'm 21 and I've been making music since I was 14 in 8th grade in 2018. So I think I got a little bit of experience, but shit, I don't know everything, bro. But I mean, what do you want to know? You just gotta tell me like what type of advice you want, because I can give you some general advice, bro. You know, learn the business of music pretty much, and you know, you got to learn how to have tough skin as an artist too. You know, you got to learn how to take criticism. You know, especially when I first started out, I was kind of like scared to show people my music and stuff like that. I was scared to show my parents my music. I was scared to show like some of my friends my music and shit like that. And I feel like it kind of it ruined my confidence at first as an artist, bro. Because, you know, when I finally did start to show people my music, I didn't have any like type of constructive criticism. So niggas was like clowning on my music and shit. Because I already like I wasn't showing it to people that was close to me and stuff. So I wasn't getting like a first reaction. And, you know, also having tough skin, bro, it's just like niggas was clowning my shit. People are gonna clown your music when you first start out. That's pretty much, I'm saying all that to say People are gonna clown your music when you first start out, and it's kind of like you just gotta deal with it, bro. Up until like you really get your sound right and really like start figuring out what you're trying to do, and really this is a stage where a lot of people get discouraged that, once people start clowning on your music when you first start out, a lot of people, they get discouraged, they want to quit and shit like that. And really, I would say those are the moments that separate true artists from like people that's just trying to do this shit to look cool. Because a lot of people think, oh yeah, you just go step in front of a mic and just be like going crazy. Nah, bro. You feel me? I don't make the best music in the world, but I know when I first started making music, my stuff ain't really sound good, bro. My stuff might not sound good to some people still, but like I got some streams to prove it. But it's like you're not gonna sound good at first, and you got to get through the ugly stage. And I would say once you get your sound down pat, that's when you start worrying about getting marketing and stuff like that. And even like when you're at the point where your sound is down pat, you want to pretty much have a clear intention of where you want to be in music too, because a lot of people they want to start taking music serious, but then they don't know where they want to take this shit, and that ends up stunting them because they don't really have a direction. You gotta have a direction, bro. Direction as an artist, especially in 2025, is something that's important. And you also have to be able to adapt. That brings me to my next piece of advice. To be a successful artist, you got to learn how to adapt to trends, adapt to certain situations and stuff like that. If you've never been to a studio, you got to be ready to go to a studio. That's a big thing, really, because for a lot of people my age and a lot of people even younger than me, have never been to like a real studio. We just, a lot of people my age is used to like being on Discord and like cooking up on the internet and shit like that. And, some people fold when they get into an actual session. So, I would just say it's best to like learn how to get comfortable in certain situations and learn how to like get comfortable making music in certain situations, because you never know, a label might be wanting you to get into a studio, and if you're not really comfortable with like working in the studio and like working under a time limit, you got to get right before you end up getting that opportunity. And I'm dropping some gems, bro. I'm like tired and shit. Like I just woke up. I can't go back to sleep, but trying to give my boy some advice here, and trying to get some advice to everyone else too. But said you got to hear what's cooking. All right, we're gonna hear what's cooking in a second. Pretty much what I got right here, this is just some bullshit I just put down when I was like testing out my mic and shit and like testing out the sound. Did you start from BandLab? Nah, I didn't. Well, like technically, yes. I started off a garage band. So when I first started making music, it was 2018. I had like an iPhone 7, bruh. The red iPhone 7 Plus. And I was doing track at the time. I always wanted to do music, but like I grew up in a sports family and shit like that. So like, doing sports and shit, And I had a friend around 8th grade. His name was Kevon, bruh. That was my dog. He still is. I still fuck with him and shit. But like, after track practice and shit, I would notice like he would be making music and shit. So me, I was normally like shy with like asking people how to do stuff. I was just like, fuck it, man. Let me just ask Kevon like if he could help me start making music, and give me some tips and shit, get me started. I ended up talking to him and shit like that. He let me come over to his crib, and we just started making music together at the crib. And it got to the point where he started getting like a little too busy to like do music and stuff. And it just kind of like wasn't able to go to the crib no more. So I learned how to do this shit at the crib, like at my crib, and I just downloaded GarageBand and just like locked in, bro. I was getting beats off of YouTube like every day, just like trying to knock out songs on GarageBand and shit. And like was just doing that. Then I ended up like asking my parents for a computer because I was going into ninth grade. And like I really wanted a computer and shit, bro. So I ended up like lying and saying I needed it for like schoolwork and shit in between gaming to like try to give my parents more of a reason to get me a computer. So they ended up scraping up together some money to get me like a $500 computer. Ended up getting that shit, and that's when like I really started making beats and shit. I ended up having a trial version of FL, and like I was just on there cooking shit, bro. And you know, I just ended up working with what I had. I cracked like a few plugins and shit, but yeah, then from there I was just like cooking on FL, was learning how to make beats and shit. I was recording on FL, shit like that. Well, I wasn't recording on I wasn't recording on FL off rip. I was recording on GarageBand and like took my vocals and sent it over to my computer. That's how I was learning how to mix and shit. So, and like, bro, that was in 2019. That was like long before like I was even getting like a little bit of attention. So, like, the shit does take time, bro. So, you know, that's pretty much like, that's a huge chunk of advice too. This shit takes time. You can't just like, well, for some people just wake up and they talented at this shit. But me, I wasn't one of them. So you might be talented though, but a lot of people, you know, they think they just wake up and just start doing this and be successful or real. You can't, bro. You can, but this shit's rare. So that's really that. So we about to get to cooking. But shit, like if y'all need more advice and like more questions about stuff though, I got y'all. Let me see. All right, let's pick a good sound to start off with, bro. Need a BPM too. I'm gonna do some shit 150. 150, that's like my favorite BPM to be honest. Yeah, y'all could actually see my plugins and shit now. I had to go and tweak some shit inside my screen recording thing, bro, because like y'all couldn't see my shit. That's what we gonna do now. Let me actually start out with a bass. I'm fucking tripping. Especially if I'm making one of these type of beats, bro. Niggas don't know what the fuck I'm finna make. Let me see. I'm about to make one of my older types beats. Chat. Yo, Tino, you be using Hive? My bad, y'all. Let me read the chat, bro. Tino, you be using Hive? Hive got some crazy shit. EQ is awesome. I'm still learning on band. Carter, what's good, bro? Y'all, I can finally see y'all chat on here. I'm hype. I'm hype about this shit. Love to collab a beat with you. Got a lot I couldn't finish. Yeah, nah, bro. I'm gonna start collabing with y'all one day, bro. Wish I could open the synth up, but I can't, bro. Can't even do it. something like this. And go over that. Tired, bro. I just can't go back to sleep, bro. I've already tried, my nigga. I cannot go back to sleep for shit. So, honestly, I'm good for right now, bro. I just can't go back to fucking sleep. Soft clip wrong. add some other shit to this damn Sims in a second. Add some other shit to this melody in a second. Keep that shit simple, bro. Honestly. See something. Just check this shit. About to get a whole nother like dimension to this shit. I am tired as fuck though. still want to make some beats though. I don't give a fuck. Save this shit, cause Hive, bro, that shit be crashing my damn computer. That beat, just about to arrange this shit right quick, bro. And then we'll try to make some like different shit after this. So I was low key a warm up, just see where my head was at. Bass back on camera. That one. Now we about to just cook up another one. Let me see. I low key just want to start out with Hive on this one. Just see what I come up with. I'll just do it. Let me see. But this shit might crash though. Hopefully it don't. Ooh, let me actually just open up Serum. My stupid ass. Let me open up Serum. Why am I doing this to myself? When you can't find the fucking sound, you gotta open up like 1,000 damn VSTs, bruh. Niggas can't find the right sound and shit. Might as well just do this analog lab shit, bro. Fuck it. Let me just use what I've been using, bro. Save that one actually. I'm gonna come back to that sound. Hold on, I got an idea. shit out like that. And trust the process. Try to get some shit right. Probably just gotta pick a different sound. Let me go in the hive, man. Let's go back into this shit. Yeah, open up one of these. See, this is the part of making beats niggas don't ever want to talk about, bro. When niggas get stuck in shit. Let me figure that shit out. I'm just trying not to overthink this pattern. I'll keep it on this second one, but I'm gonna try to come up with something new right here. But I'm gonna keep what I had just in case the new shit that I try don't work. Fuck it. Just need to find a different sound though. This shit just gonna be different as hell. Making me tired as fuck. Mhm. Low key, getting tired as fuck once again. So came on this bitch, man. We cooked up. Probably gonna finish this shit on the next stream along with some more beats and shit. I'll probably finish this shit and just throw it up as a beat post. So y'all probably see this like on IG within the meantime and shit. But outside of that, man, appreciate everybody that slid through to the live tonight, man. Kind of started this shit kind of late, man, because low key was sleep before this shit. Work fucking took a lot out of me, bro. But ended up waking up, couldn't go back to sleep. Still wanted to come on here and like cook some shit, bro. Get my reps in and shit. You know, just pop out for y'all and shit, man. So appreciate everyone that came and slid through, bro. I'll catch y'all on the next one. My next live won't be tomorrow, but it'll be the day after and shit. So still gonna have a day off of work that day. So we finna go crazy and shit like that, man. Expect like a new music announcement coming soon too. I just gotta figure out what snippets I'm gonna give y'all and shit like that, and what songs I'm ready to like let y'all hear and shit. So yeah, once I get that shit situated, we gonna be dropping some snippets and shit, and figuring out what song we gonna drop next. Cause like I told you, I'm gonna try to drop like every month and shit. But that'll be the convo for the next stream and shit, man. Appreciate everyone that came and slid through. Y'all have a good night, man. Love each and every one of y'all. Tino season, we out this motherfucker. Let's get it.